Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up because today we are talking a 3 ways Wednesday with something that everybody has in their closet, which is a striped shirt. So stay tuned. It's one of those quintessential summer, spring items, which is the striped shirt. You can find them like this one, which is a t-shirt from Z Supply. You can find them as a button down. You can find them in lots and lots of iterations. I thought it would be really fun to take a striped top that is just a little bit outside of the box and pair it with lots of things that you also probably already have in your wardrobe and show you the same outfits on Instagram and on the shorts in between the long styling videos, what all of these outfits look like with your standard striped tee, with your standard striped button down. So let's get started with the outfits. Let's talk about the top that we are putting with all the different bottoms, and that is the one shoulder striped top from Z Supply. If you're unfamiliar with this brand, it is a very cool, fun brand. They take a lot of basics and just twist them a little bit to make them very unique. The quality is great. The price point is also great. You can get them at Evereve and you can get them on their own website. So this striped top, like I said, is a one shoulder detail, which automatically just opens up the neckline really nicely. And yes, you could sew in an extra strap if you really needed to, but unless you have little ones that are really tugging at your tops, you're probably going to be just fine. This one shoulder detail just creates a beautiful silhouette, especially with this ruffle. It's not too big, it's not too poofy, it's just right, and I feel like it dresses up any bottom that you put it with, which is really lovely in the summer. I'm always looking for those pieces that can just elevate the more casual style of summer, especially when it gets really, really hot. So we are going to start a little bit more casual, and you'll be able to see in the modeling shots how something like this, just by being a one shoulder with a little bit of a frill, which adds something really interesting visually to these otherwise very casual pieces. Now, this is a cobalt blue or a royal blue stripe with a white accent. It's very classic, it's very nautical. You could absolutely wear this for 4th of July if you wanted to, backyard barbecues, anything like that. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. What we are going to start with is this rosy beige Jane short by Cut from the Cloth. This is a classic cut for the brand, and it's something that they come out with pretty much every year in different colors and slightly different styles. This one I am obsessed with because if you are on the fair side, finding a khaki or a beige short can be really, really tricky. But because this one has a little bit of that pink in there, it looks really nice with our legs. Now, if you're unaware, usually, especially in the Midwest or in colder regions, your leg color is different from the top because your legs don't see the light of day quite as much as the rest of your body. So just because you run maybe a little bit warmer on top, that doesn't mean you might run warmer on the bottom. So keep that in mind when you are trying on shorts. If something feels a little bit off but the silhouette is good, try to find the same silhouette but in a slightly cooler color or a slightly warmer color if you feel like your legs run a little bit warmer and maybe you run a little bit cooler on top. It could be either way. But you can see by pairing these together, it creates a really interesting contrast between the cooler white in the top and the pinkier beige on the bottom. It's a very grown-up look, and yet it's still very fun. You can pop on a woven sandal, you can pop on a flip-flop, you can pop on pretty much any kind of shoe and kind of change the vibe of this, but the basic outfit stays very stylish and very cool. Now, if you are like, I am not wearing beige, I'm not wearing khaki, it's just not working for me, then grabbing something like your classic denim short, whether it's a cutoff, whether it's clean cut, whether it's longer, whether it's darker, it doesn't matter. Just play around with the blues in the top that you have and you'll be able to see right away if it's a good pairing. Sometimes when you go really bold with the stripe that you're using and you're not going with the navy but you're going more of that cobalt, finding a good match with a denim can be a little bit tricky. dressy. You can always go a little bit darker if you do have that royal blue, cobalt blue, because there's a lot of black in this blue. So that's a good way to go. And we are going that way a little bit later. But you can also play with lighter blues, and that is a really fun way to just, again, mix it up and cause a little bit of a visual contrast, which creates interest as well. Next up, we are dressing this top up a little bit for date night or maybe for an event that you have this summer. We are grabbing a navy slip skirt. And again, because this is a cobalt blue, it has a little bit of that black, and you can see that that really pops that stripe very, very nicely. Tuck it into the skirt for a little bit more polish. You can always try to add a belt here too if you want. Sometimes I find with slip skirts, you need to watch what kind of belt you put there because it will look like it's not part of the outfit. So just try out a couple. I find a wider belt works a little bit better, but definitely a woven, and you've got like this beautiful kind of sailor inspiration going on that looks really chic and really nicely put together. Great for performances, concerts that are happening all over the place in your community. Something else that we can pair with this, which is really fun, because we do have a little bit of a dressier top, we can grab something like a cream jogger or a sour cream if you want. And even though this is quite a casual pant, by pairing it again with something a little bit more dressy, it really elevates those bottoms, and it becomes, again, a very visually interesting outfit, because you have a little bit of that scratch, as Heidi from Evereve likes to say. You have a little bit of that play, that juxtaposition between dressy and casual. Pair it with heels and it's just like a knockout, go grab some coffee with girlfriends outfit. Pair it with a silver sandal and you've got run around town at the zoo, doing all the things for the kiddos, or a day at the beach. It looks fantastic, and yet you haven't changed anything, you've just changed your shoes. So keep that in mind as well. A lot of these outfits, a lot of these base outfits that I'm showing you can change even with shoes and the bag that you go with. But again, I really like this combination, even though it's white and sour cream or cream cheese or whatever you want to call this color. I think that's a really fun way to play with the stripe. It doesn't have to be that same white. It doesn't have to be the same blue. Create a little bit of contrast and it becomes more visually interesting, and also a little bit more on the modern side. We're kind of going away from the matchy-matchy. At the same time, we are getting really into sets on the top and the bottom and kind of going back to that 70s. We're also still really loving that little bit of difference between our colorations on the top and the bottom. The last combination is just grabbing a great pair of wide leg denim in a blue, again, that works with whatever blue is in your top. And going with a wider leg feels a little bit dressier. It feels a little bit more polished than going with a skinny. With a top like this, especially with this cut, if you go with a skinny, if you go with like a tighter straight, it can start to look a little costumey. It can start to feel a little 1950s, which is totally great, and I love the 1950s for fashion. However, if you want to modernize it, go with a looser pant, go with a wide leg, go with a cuff. Any of those, play around with them, they would look fantastic. If you want to make this look a little bit more casual, find a denim that has a little bit of distressing, maybe something in a barrel leg, a very soft barrel leg, and that can be really killer too. That can be a very rock and roll vibe. Whereas this, because there's no distressing and it is a trouser denim, looks very polished and very clean. Again, it's a great one for a casual night out. It's a great one for the office. It's a great one whenever you need to just dress up your denim, but you don't feel like wearing an actual button down. So again, all of these options look fantastic, from a striped t-shirt to a striped button down to something a little bit more glamorous and a little bit more fun with the C Supply top. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love taking classic pieces and just twisting them a little bit. It really jives my creativity, and I also feel like it really helps me sink in what looks good with what. And then I can take that information and apply it to more of those basic everyday pieces. Plus, it's just fun to mix and match what you have in your wardrobe with modern silhouettes and retro silhouettes and just mix it all together to create something that is uniquely you. I do fashion fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday. Again, make sure you are watching the shorts in between and following me on Instagram because I have more outfit inspiration for you to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more glossy. And I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.